Hey all, it's Joey here, and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where we are building out the city of Manchester. In today's episode, we are going to build out a cargo rail network, as well as some forestry industry. In addition, we're going to build a second industrial area. Now let's get started. So one thing that I definitely want to make sure that I'm doing is relocating some of this industry, and we're going to repurpose this to be a commercial hub and even add some parks as well. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do when we're working with trains is we want to make sure that we're going to either have it grade separated or at grade. For me, I prefer to have it grade separated, and that's just going to help us have some extra layers of height. And one thing that you want to be sure of is that your grading does not go over 2%, because trains they don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here and find where we've got a nice level pad right here. We're just going to level this out a little bit, increase the brush strength a little bit, and go ahead and flatten this area out, but also flatten this out over here a little bit so that we have a nice place for the trains to land and make sure that everything will be nice and level. So we're going to come to our 2A double train tracks, and we're going to come into parallel mode, and I like to decrease the offset to 0.25. We're going to come across at about 306 yards. And we'll see if this will let us add a pillar. It sometimes does and it sometimes doesn't. Looks like it will allow us to add that pillar by simply just double clicking with the straight tool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to our simple curve. We're going to draw this at 180 degrees straight to this train track, and then just curve it in, which we may need to buy this next tile over just to make sure that we have enough room. I will get that one too. All right, zoom back in. So we're gonna come back, like I said, 180 degrees, straight up to here. And now I just want to bring it into the train track. We're gonna do the same thing on this side, 180 degrees to the train track, and hook it in. And you can see we have some nice switches here too. So basically this track is going to be the one that will be servicing our outside connection to the north, I guess is what this is. We'll call that north. And this one is going to be to the west. So now what we want to do is we're going to stick with our parallel train tracks. Go back to parallel mode. Apparently wants me to do it here. We're going to curve this slightly. You can see that, you can kind of see it at least, that the grade right here is 0.1%. So it's not perfectly flat, but we again are not going for perfectly flat. We just want to make sure that we don't have too much of a grade. And I'm going to take out that last segment so that it just comes straight across. So now we're going to have to pause the game while I come through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through with our little trench. And I still haven't decided if I'm going to do the tunnels or if I'm going to delete these bridges. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and build up these train tracks, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I decided to go with the tunnels coming under the highway. And we have it at a pretty consistent grade. And what ends up happening after it comes out of the tunnel from under the highway is it's going to snake around a little bit into this trench. and it's going to head off into this direction. Somewhere around here is where we're probably going to have our first set of real industry, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, I think we have just a couple more farming areas that we have to place down in order to unlock the dairy house, so we'll probably do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and just time lapse through the rest of this setup, and we will be right back. Alright, so we've gotten quite a bit done today with the forestry industry and the start of our rail infrastructure. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our cargo route. And this cargo route will only be able to access our connection over here. So it should only be able to do that. Did it just decide not to do that? There we go. So we just have to set the waypoint on that side. Picky, picky, picky. Now we're going to complete the line and we should be getting our first train popping up. Anytime. There it is. So we can also add the maintenance hall. I don't think I'm going to do that just yet. I want to make sure that we have more profitability, and then we can also add that extra line, which again, I don't think is going to be necessary at this particular point in time. So let's speed things up so that we can get these rails moving, and check this out, it coming over this bridge, which I think will look really nice as soon as we get some more traffic flowing. And it should, well, I guess it's not going to, but it should have just come up here and reversed, but it's not like we have any cargo to be sending out. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'll detail it up, and we will be back with a nice city tour. Alright, so we've got our forestry, our second, and this will probably be our main industry with some of these going away eventually. Got all that built, and I've also got a nice little apartment complex using the European medium density, which I wonder how close we are actually to unlocking. So here, that's North American, this is European. So we're actually pretty close to unlocking the condos, which we will definitely place whenever that becomes available. I think this building looks very nice. So we'll probably continue to do that. I'm going to go ahead and continue speeding through the simulation so that our trees can grow up. And this very confusing thing, I don't know if y'all can see it down here at the bottom of the screen, but you can clearly see that it says we're losing money, but the balance is going up, which is quite interesting. I'm not entirely sure how that math works out, but you know, I will take it. I will take it. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this, and as soon as these trees have all grown up, we will be ready for our city tour.